broken pieces. This is a very fitting theme for what I'm about to speak about. How do we pick up the pieces of our lives when something's fractured our family and just really pained us so deeply and made us feel like we can never recover? Can we take these broken pieces and put them back together and make something beautiful again? Like Eunice said, we live in times where unfortunate circumstances are all too common in families today. The nuclear family is no longer the typical family structure. Divorce, healthcare issues, financial issues, an adult child being incarcerated or an addiction, and like she mentioned, the hardest of all, the death of a child, which is where I find myself. It's still really hard to say out loud, sorry. Many grandparents are finding themselves in the role of parent to their grandchildren. Raising a children at the time when many are feeling the need to slow down can be a challenge. So many things have changed since we've raised our own children, and the generation gap we face with our grandchildren can be difficult to bridge. The new physical, financial, and emotional demands can seem very overwhelming. There may be a need to find a new thread of income, a new place to live that accommodates everyone, a system of support, and just somebody that might have to help us take care of things that we just can't do for ourselves. Getting health care and schooling for children can be very difficult. These require the consent of a legal guardian, and quite often that's not the grandparent. Not only can this be a frustrating situation, but in a medical emergency, it can be dangerous. Time and energy that we once were spending on ventures of our own may need to be now directed towards grandchildren, so things have to change dramatically. Adjusting to a new way of living is a large undertaking, but then there's things like that you don't really think about, like loss of friendship or family connections. There might be people that just don't know how to be a friend to you in the new circumstances that you're facing. Some of them might feel you might ask for help, so they just drift away. So dealing with these things are daunting enough, but amongst all of that, you have your own mental and emotional anguish that you're going through. For me, I was still in deep grief. Many have anger and shame when their child's not able to parent. The strain and worry if your child is mentally or physically ill or in addiction is tremendous. And of course, any child who's separated from their parent will face unique emotional challenges. Assisting them in healing can be heavy on your heart when you're just trying to keep your head above water. There's no manual that gives you the answer for all these challenges that you're facing, and I certainly can't speak of every challenge, but every situation is unique. Is it possible to find ourselves successful in this situation? How do we take these broken pieces and put them back together and make something beautiful? I'm certainly no expert, but I strongly believe that we can find joy in this situation only by taking care of ourselves, both mentally and physically. Where we live in our minds and bodies is going to determine our resiliency and how we handle things. A positive perspective can help us focus on the blessings, and there are certainly many. I have a few suggestions that if you find yourself in this situation, you may find helpful. First of all, finding a good counselor may be needed if you need emotional support in a safe and non-judgmental space. They may help you to cope and make positive changes. Their insight and their guidance might give you a fresh perspective that you just didn't see before. You also may, of course, have a person in your life, like a good friend that really has your back that you can talk to. Make use of that because you'll definitely need it. And make it a practice to be around people who are positive and upbeat and solution-oriented, not the people that talk about everything like the sky is falling constantly. You know, there's going to be the special people in your life that step up and they help you out when you're frazzled, and you're going to really need them. You know, when I was a parent, parenting my children, I think I was so busy and so overwhelmed with being a new parent and making my, trying to work, trying to raise the kids. I missed a lot of things. And I think that with the grandchildren, there's a new level of understanding because I've learned from the mistakes I made. And the hindsight's given me wisdom into how I can deeply connect with my grandchildren and hopefully do a better job with them. I'm doing things for the kids, that I never would do, I don't think, at this stage in my life, like packing them up on a sunny afternoon and heading down to the river, jumping into a mud bath that they've created before we run into the water, driving 5 hours just to go on water slides, and actually going with them instead of watching from the sidelines like I think I would have done before. And even going to amusement parks that are definitely not my thing, but I'm right in there with them. And it has been absolutely amazing. Our communities have many fantastic places for health and wellness, and it's definitely needed if you're going to keep up with the kids. There's sports centers, gyms, outdoor facilities that offer a variety of activities. You may find a sport you can do with your grandchildren, and you definitely might get in the best shape of your life. There are so many community programs that are available, and there's also different programs that will help if, say, you have financial hardship. So dig in and find what there is available. The public library has a bulletin board with activities and services. Many of them are even free. There's groups that get together to play games, people that get together and speak to learn a new language, or play music. If you Google community groups, you can find groups for adults and children. Anything from cadets, the Kool-Aid Society. We have a live theater, any kind of interest that the kids have or you have that you could do together, they're available. There's also a community group in our area that's called Camp Heal a Heart that actually helps children dealing with experiencing loss or change. Understanding new technology and keeping up with social issues are important when you have young people in the home. And it's a valuable opportunity to grow and to benefit for you because it's anti-aging as you keep your brain active. There's many times when the grandchildren have taught me how to update my computer, my phone, and I certainly wouldn't know anything about a virtual reality headset if not for them. We try to take the time to do things together where we can learn, like preparing meals. It's a good time for instruction, for talking about traditions and starting new ones. There's plenty of time for laughter and really heartfelt conversations as you're working alongside of them. As we do chores such as cutting the grass or shoveling the snow, we get to talk about the challenges that people face doing these chores as they get older. And it helps them to have a deeper appreciation of what older people go through. And I know that this will be a great asset to them as they get older and then they have a job in the community because they'll be able to really understand people of various ages. One thing that's really helped me is to find a place for solace. We built a memorial garden in my backyard under a large tree. We have beautiful flower pots all around it in the summer and special items that the kids find comforting. They can go sit there and feel like they're connected with their dad, think about the things that they miss about him, have a conversation with him. And there's times I go out there and have a good cry myself. There's this possibility for growth and learning on both sides. I've tried to teach the grandkids self-care and emotional regulation through modalities like breath work, yoga, massage, and just awareness in their bodies. Taking responsibility for themselves in this way helps things run smoothly and takes a lot off my plate. So now they're helping me out. So I've taught them this breathing technique for calming their nervous system. And quite often when I'm upset or frustrated, I'll hear this little voice say, Nana, smell the flower, blow out the candle. And it's like, I thought I taught you that. But it's mutual. They're helping me just as much as I'm helping them. They say it takes a village to raise a child. And I'd just like to share 2 things that I think are really vital for us as a village. Number 1, it's very simple. Be kind. Being separated from a parent is one of the most stressful things a child will ever experience. They may express their emotions through physical pain, such as stomach aches, headaches, anger, defiance, and extreme fears. A caring and empathetic adult will have the capacity to understand that this is a process of grieving and will not make things worse by telling them to stop being difficult or punish them harshly. Having empathy in this way will also strengthen our communities. Number 2, be mindful of what we say. At times, well-meaning people have said things like, it must be so terrible to get stuck raising your grandchildren. These vulnerable children need to hear, or do not need to hear or feel that they're burdensome. They don't want to feel that you, as their primary caregiver, find them to be some source of grief. And most important too, grandparents don't want pity that they're in this position. They just ask for understanding. So I'd like to share a few practical things that some of my friends have done for the kids and I and have been greatly appreciated. And I know that sometimes people don't realize it's the little things that really mean a lot, but especially to a child who's struggling, when the teaching staff that knows their situation gives them that extra little side hug and asks them how they're doing, it's huge. The friend who stops by and does yard work or brings fresh strawberries from their garden. The neighbor who always has the time to talk to the kids, ask them how they're doing and engage in a conversation. The family member you can call when you have a plumbing emergency and he's busy, but he drops everything and comes over to help, and then stays for a coffee and a visit. A friend who takes the kids shopping and then to their favorite place, the cat cafe, where they can hang out with the cats. I'm allergic. The friends that come for their birthday or take them out for a surprise birthday dinner. They don't forget those special days. The gym I attend that gives the kids complimentary classes and programs. And those who remember the tough days for the kids, like Father's Day and their dad's birthday. And most importantly, all of those who have really listened with their heart and cared. We love you so much, and those things have made a huge impact on us. So if you find yourself in a position of parenting your grandchildren, you're certainly not alone. Try to connect with those who really get your situation. Connect with your community, and most important, connect through meaningful conversation with your grandchildren. When we pick up the broken pieces after a devastating event in our family, we can lovingly put them back together again. You know, it's not going to be the same as we thought it was going to be originally, but it can still be beautiful. Thank you.